Catch 'em in the pasture, run 'em in the pen, work 'em on the Sundays, do it all again. Race 'em in the sand, buck 'em in the mud, drip a cowboy's sweat, bleed a cowboy's blood.
I'm Zeke Thurston, 2016 World Champion Saddlebrock Rider, and you're watching The Pepper Stewart Show.
He's correct. I would say that is a fact. You are watching it. You are watching what is happening here. But you're not just watching me this time. You're not. Because Randi's here.
I am here.
She's here.
I like being here. It's fun.
She is here, and she's got stories.
Do I?
I think so.
Okay. If you say so.
We've all got some stories, a few, to share with you guys today. Tommy Howell is going to be on with us here shortly. You know him from a lot of shows he's been in, from The Outsiders back in the old days to Obliterated, that just popped off of Netflix not too long ago, so check that out. And while you're checking out stuff, don't forget that coming up within a week is the American that's going to be here in Arlington, Texas. So you're going to want to check that out.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo. Witness the thrill of non-stop rodeo action. Music headliner to be revealed. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
Check it out. Get your tickets. Make sure you are there. It's going to be a great event. You're going to be there at the American. The Western Horseman is Friday night, and the American is Saturday. And I want to be there Friday night. I'll tell you what. I want to be there so much Friday night for the American Western Weekend that I turned down Landman, the new Taylor Sheridan film that's filming. They're filming on Friday. I was like, hey, did you come out and do some stuff? I was like, I can't do it. I got to go watch this. And then what's going to happen when Friday comes, I'm not going to want to go. I'm just going to stay home and watch it on TV. Because that's what happens. But anyway, let's talk about what is happening right now. And that is some fires. Texas is on fire. Up in the Panhandle, this is what's going on right now. If you want to donate anything as far as relief efforts, because a lot of stuff you're looking for, if you go on Facebook to Pepper Stewart on Facebook and look on there, we've got it posted from the, I think it's called the Ranch Navy, and they've got probably 5 or 6 different locations that you can drop off supplies to or send supplies to, whether it's stuff for the firefighters, stuff for the farmer, whether the farmers whose cattle are needing hay or feed, or the firefighters needing water and supplies. So it's all posted on there. But what has happened so far, this is the report as of today. This comes from Beef Magazine. It was edited about 2 hours ago. So this is what we're at now. The Smokehouse Creek fire is the largest that has burned 850,000 acres and is 0% contained as of Wednesday night. It's the second largest wildfire ever in Texas history. There's another active wildfire in the Panhandle that includes the Windy Deuce Fire, which has burned 90,000 acres. It's 25% contained. And the Grapevine Creek Fire has burned 30,000 acres, and it's now 60% contained. So the governor of Texas has issued a disaster declaration for 60 Texas counties in response to the wildfire activity. And the Texas Division of Emergency Management is activated. Additional state emergency response is also activated to support local firefighters responding to multiple wildfires burning Texas, which a lot of fire departments around Dallas and surrounding areas have also sent helps. And if it hasn't gotten any worse, neighboring Oklahoma is battling active wildfires. It's burned over 115,000 acres. And the Oklahoma Forestry Service reported that the Slapout Fire in Beaver County has burned 76,000 acres and is 0% contained. Also 0% contained is the Gatsby fire in Ellis County. It's burned 30,000 acres. And then, if you jump over to the E1980 road fire in Choctaw County, has burned 5,500 acres and is 40% contained. And to keep going, the Sand Creek fire has burned 2,300 acres and is 75% contained. So, we're on fire.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fire.
I hope these winds can stay down.
God, you usually hear fires like this from California.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard of these fires at all, so.
Yeah, it's happening right now. And a lot of these happen in, or happening like that, but then you have to have a lot of places, which California's finally started doing it because since they took out the logging and they're not out there mowing and doing the underbrush and all the stuff they used to, now they're actually getting with the program and they're employing goats to go out and eat up the underbrush. And they're doing that in different places, and that happened in Arlington, Texas as well.
I did see a story about that, though. It can go wrong.
It can?
I mean, anytime you've got animals, you can't 100% contain them.
Yeah.
So now there are about 200 escaped goats wandering around. But we do have some body cam footage. I believe it's from the Arlington Police Department.
Okay.
Is that right?
Going this way, we need them to go that way. I told you, it's a bunch of goats. They don't have a choice.
Can I move my car back?
I don't know. Ah. You got a runner, Stan?
All right, got one runner. Come on. Oh, how fun is that?
Oh, this is a mess.
That's kind of cute.
Go, goats, go. Back to where you came from, please.
Please.
Who knew we were goat wranglers now?
No, they're not regular. They're scared them off. They're doing the opposite of what they should. That's not solving the problem.
Dude.
Go on, get it.
This is the most insane thing I've ever. Come on, goats. Keep on moving. You sure don't. I didn't know we had goats.
This quote at the bottom.
Are you ready? All right. That happened. That happened right down the road here in Arlington. What had happened is the 200 goats had been turned out into the park over there, which they fence off an area for the goats around. And what they had found out is, or suspected, is that some hikers and bikers had came through and knocked down the fence to go through, didn't put it back up, which they always say, if you open a gate, you close a gate, right? And that's what happened, and all the goats got out.
If you don't know why a fence is there, don't take it down.
That's it. Let's do this. Let's check out this tune, and when we come back, we'll talk to the legendary actor himself, Tommy Howell.
Never wasted any time. Fixed all the fences. Worked till I was damn near blind. I'm free to roam. I'll be talking to the crows, humming in the pasture. Hearts in this dirt, this old boy's done growing. You take the reins, I'll be better off cold. Gonna preach you some advice. Stay weary, stand your ground. Blood you don't know may cross your own path. Gotta know your own path. I'll be talking to the crows, humming in the pasture. Hearts in this dirt, this old boy's done growing. You take the reins, I'll be better off cold.
That tune right there, you can check that out on the interweb nets. He's got a new album out, coming out, and that right there is Tommy Howell. Tommy, what is going on?
How are you, Cowboy?
Oh man, we are doing great over here in Dallas. Just checking things out, see what's going on, and seeing what you're up to.
Man, I've been staying busy. Just got a new album coming out, and been doing a little roping and riding, and I've just been filming a little bit. So they keep me pretty busy, Pepper.
Yeah, they do, and let's talk about that rodeo stuff. Let's get into that. You know, your dad was a champion bull rider. You did some bull riding, and so let's transition into that a little bit on how you went from being a champion steer rider, bull rider, and doing a little TV work.
You know, back in the day, all the stunt guys were cowboys, right? I mean, when they were making all those westerns and they needed people to do the tough stuff, they hired cowboys. So my father was a professional bull rider for about 10 years. And he rodeoed pretty hard and was a single parent, and I was raised by my father. So we would just travel together, and he'd basically say, hold my kid for me. I got to go ride this bull. And when it was time for me to go to school, he finally decided to settle down, and he started toying with the idea of doing stunts and just eased into that business. And he really became one of Hollywood's most prominent stuntmen. In fact, at the ripe old age of 76, he still works and coordinates a lot of shows. He coordinated Longmire for 6 years, and he's a well-respected stuntman in the business. And I just grew up under his tutelage. I thought I'd become a stuntman eventually, but my dream was to be professional cowboy. And I junior rodeoed real hard in 1979, 1980, 1981. I was California State junior all-around champion. I rode steers and rode bulls a little bit and rode calves and team roped. And I really wanted to become team roper. And in fact, still team rope today.
Yeah. Yeah. And with your roping, where'd you rope? You roped mainly in California where you were there, or did you kind of move around? Or?
Yeah, I grew up the outskirts of Los Angeles, but traveled quite a bit. I spent a lot of my youth up in Fresno area, Chowchilla, roping around there. And we had a little ranch just outside of Los Angeles, and my dad ran some cows up there and started working a lot, and we settled down, and we just based right there in a little town called Agora, which is out by Thousand Oaks in California. And that's what we called home for a long time. And then as years went on, we moved out of town out there into Newhall, Saugus area. And that was real popular for horses and a lot of cowboys. And we just stayed right there. And, you know, I never really thought I'd become an actor. I just planned on becoming a stuntman and cowboying. And as time went on, I started to get a couple of jobs here and there because I could ride horses. I did a Kool-Aid commercial when I was a kid because I could ride the horses, and I played a lot of parts as a youngster that required some sort of action activity, whether it was riding motorcycles or horses or something like that. And then next thing you know, I got a call to go meet Steven Spielberg. My father picked me up at high school, and which he did often. He said, we got a meeting in town, and you got to meet a guy named Steven Spielberg. And I didn't know who he was. And if he wasn't, Walt Woodard or Alan Bach or one of those team ropers, I really didn't care, So he pulled out an old pack of Marlboros that he just bought and handed me some matches. And he said, you have to learn how to light this. Your character's got to smoke. And I said, well, all right. I practiced striking those matches and went into that meeting, and there was about 5 guys, all looked like John Stamos with blue eyes and black feathered hair. And I turned to Daddy. I said, Dad, we better get out of here. I don't look like those boys at all. I'm not going to get this part. And he said, you just wait. And one at a time, they went in and came out. It was my turn, and I went and sat down in this stool in front of a bunch of lights, and there was Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall, all the producers from Raiders of the Lost Ark and all the movies that they'd done, and the casting people. And he started asking me a couple questions. Sort of liked the idea that my father was a stuntman. Asked if I could ride the bikes. That all that they needed. They needed some bike riding in that movie, if you recall, in E.T. And then he got to the part. He said, how do you feel about smoking a cigarette? And I pulled out this crumpled pack of Marlboros and fished out a bent cigarette and struck a match a couple of times, and they all started laughing and said, all right, kid, you got the part. And I made this little movie called E.T. that turned into the phenom that it did. And it wasn't about, I'd say a few months later, I got the call to go in and start auditioning, and began the meeting process with Francis Ford Coppola when I was about 14 for the movie The Outsiders, and I played Ponyboy Curtis. And, I never looked back. I went from Spielberg to Coppola, and when I was 14, and man, it's been all downhill since.
It's kept you busy, so that kind of put your, your rodeo on sidetrack.
It was an interesting conversation because I worked quite a bit as a kid, and there was a time when I really struggled with that decision because, the great Clay O'Brien, 7-time world champion team roper, 6 or 7, I believe. He had a great career as a kid. He was in the Apple Dumpling Gang. He did a lot of Disney films, and he quit acting to become maybe the greatest healer that ever lived. And I remember one day I was on the road, and I went up. I think we were at Salinas, California, and I went up to Walt Woodard, and I had a real good rodeo at Salinas. I was roping with the guy named J.B. Getzweiler, who was healing for me, and we were 4th high team back, and we missed our last one. And I went up to Walt, and I said, Walt, I got a chance here to do something in Hollywood, and it's going to take me away from roping. And I really, I've always dreamt of becoming a world champion cowboy. I never dreamt and never chased being an actor. It just sort of came to me. And I said, I'm really struggling with this. And he put his arm around my shoulder, and I'll never forget this. He said, son, you go make them movies. He said, you come back and team rope anytime you want. And you'll be able to buy a house and a ranch and better horses, and you'll be a better man for it. And it was because of Walt. I made that choice to put down my ropes and really focus on acting. And I went off to make some pretty decent movies. And I'm 57 now, and I've been in probably 250 productions. And I've had a heck of a life. I've traveled around the world. I did a movie with Elizabeth Taylor. I did a movie with Anne Margaret. Some really incredible people. And it's been a dream come true. Nobody's been more surprised or more grateful than myself to have had that experience. And now I'm just like old Walt said. Now I've got a couple horses, and in fact, just bought a little ranch out in Nacogdoches in eastern Texas there, and a couple hours east of Dallas. And my wife and I just fell in love with it, and we just got her a little horse, and just gonna go kind of focus on doing the things that we love now, and play some music, and get onto a few rodeos if we can.
Yeah. You ready?
I want to shift back to the acting roles. I've got this is my random questions here.
Sure.
Out of everything you think you've played, which role was the most like you?
Wow. Honestly, it's going to sound kind of funny, but when you're a kid, they hire you because you are as close to that role as can be. You're not making any stretches. When you're 14, 15, you're not playing the serial killer. You're not playing the heavy. And I got to say, I was always a little bit of a fish out of water growing up. Everybody chewed tobacco, and that was something I couldn't stand. I was a sensitive kid, especially being around a bunch of rodeo cowboys, bull riders, and whatnot. So I'd have to say probably Pony Boy. It was I'm not going to say simple, but it wasn't a real stretch. I just had to really sort of be present and be myself in that production. And it was something I could really relate to. He was a sensitive kid that hung around a bunch of tough guys. He was a sensitive kid from the wrong side of the tracks. And when you're a sensitive kid growing up with a bunch of cowboys, you see a lot of things that you probably shouldn't see, and you're in the middle of a lot of things you probably shouldn't be in the middle of. And, you're trying to process right from wrong. And I grew up real fast, partially because I was sent out on the road and traveled real hard with some cowboys at a young age. And that transition into acting made it simple for me because, people ask if I felt pressure. I was like, pressure is when you enter a $50 jackpot and you got $20 in your pocket, that's pressure. Going to a movie set, working with a bunch of really cool people making money. And I mean, that was just fun for me. And especially at a young age, because it gave me the opportunity to, at that time, I mean, I still planned on being a cowboy. So I bought myself better horses and a cool truck. And I just planned on getting down the road. But little did I know, Hollywood had other plans for me.
Tell us about your horses. You got some better horses now. I've seen some pretty good videos you got out there doing a little team roping. So tell us about the horses you got going.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just got a new horse come out of New Mexico from a guy named John English, who was a great team roper in his day, and I just fell in love with him. I went and rode a few and roped on him for a few days, and I just said, John, I got to have this horse. And we worked out a deal, and he's still in New Mexico right now. I'm in Tennessee, and I'm fixing to go get him. But, my father, he's a header, and I spent a lot of time healing. And I'm a better header than I am a healer. So I just decided to switch ends, and I went and picked up a really nice little head horse, and I'm going to start heading for some really good healers. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so let's talk about this music deal. You got the album coming out, and you're playing some shows. So how's the tour been going?
I just finished my second album. My first album's out now. It's called American Storyteller, and it's on all platforms for those that are interested. My second album, we just dropped 2 singles. Dropped one over Christmas called Gentleman Jack, and I just dropped one right now that's out called Take the Reins that you played. So thank you very much for that. And we recorded this second album at the old Johnny Cash cabin, where he recorded a bunch of things with his wife and Loretta Lynn and Tanya Tucker and Merle and all the greats. So the history there was just incredible. And it was something I always wanted to do. I've always been a fan of music. I've never really been exposed to music until COVID hit. And I've got this idea for a film that I would like to make about an old ranch hand that records an album at home, and it blows up and is successful, and he walks away from the business. So, I could do all the cowboying, but I never really played the guitar much. So when COVID hit, I got my first guitar and I started to pluck a few chords and scratching a few words down. And lo and behold, I discovered, that transition from a 2-hour storytelling format that I spent 40 years of my life in was pretty seamless into that 2-minute storytelling format. You still have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And, it's up to you to decide what you want to talk about. And my life, especially my cowboying, really gave me sort of an authentic perspective to be able to write a song that I think people could relate to. One of my pet peeves, whether it's a movie or whether it's a country song, you can sure tell the people that don't know what they're doing that are pretending, and the people that do know what they're doing. I really appreciate that when I see that somewhere artistically, and I wanted to be part of that. So I moved to Tennessee, surrounded myself with some really great songwriters, and put a band together and started banging away. And, we opened last year for Tanya Tucker, and we opened for Leonard Skinner, and we opened for Larry Gatlin, and really have learned a lot from some really cool people. And I've been blessed to really have a great band and be inspired by some cool musicians. And I never anticipated, taking it to the level that we've taken it to. But it's something that what I love about it, Pepper, is I've spent a lifetime playing roles and hiding behind makeup and wardrobe and cameras. But when I'm out there on stage singing a song or telling a story, I'm able to be myself, and I'm able to be Tommy Howell, not C. Thomas Howell. And I've really enjoyed that a lot. The two go hand in hand. It's made me a little better actor. And my acting, I think, has made me a better performer on stage. So, back in the day, everybody was a triple threat. Today, you just got to go on TikTok and you can be a star. You don't have to have talent. But for me, to be able to write a song and show up with a guitar and a big part of my performance, if we're not doing sort of big band stuff, I love just getting up there, having a little acoustic set and telling a good story and singing a song. To me, that's really comes from the heart and might be my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. It's always you can always tell when it's authentic, when it's authentic and somebody's telling a story that they've lived that story and it comes out in the music and in the words, and you can tell rather than somebody just singing somebody's song.
It's the truth, isn't it? It's when somebody's been down that road and has something to share, they bleed it. It's just you can't fake it, really. Right. And it took me a while to really trust that I had something to say that people would want to hear. And again, nobody was more surprised than me. But it's been just an absolute blessing, and I really love it.
Well, I guess the last thing I seen you in was Obliterated, and then you've got something else coming up where you got to do cowboy stuff again. Ride. What's that about?
That's right. I got had the opportunity to work with a real cool cowboy named Forey Smith. I don't know if you've ever spoken with Forey.
Yeah, friend of mine. That's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, Forey, he's from Yellowstone fame, and he plays my father in this movie. And there's something that is real authentic about this piece. You know, they wanted to make a movie about cowboys, and they hired real cowboys to do it. And I wrote a song called Ride that they used for the title track, and I'm real excited about it. I play an ex-bull rider that's the father to a bull rider, and it's about a family that really struggles with the values and the difficulty of ranching and just trying to get by in today's environment. You know, it's not like it used to be in the simple times. You know, it was back when I was a kid, we used to get dirty. You know, we didn't stray too far away. As long as we could hear mom or pop yell out the back door and get home within the next 15 minutes, everything was fine. But, you know, today people don't let kids out of their house, and everybody's on their phones. And, you know, I've got a couple of kids who probably haven't been dirty in 10 years. You know, they'd rather sit there, play video games. And, you know, I think it's good to be able to spread the word. You know, one of the things that I love about being able to post a video on social media about riding horses or team roping is being able to educate the people about what rodeo really is, and straightening some of the people out about the misunderstanding when it comes to livestock and cowboys and the importance of livestock to a cowboy. And people don't understand that these bucking horses and bucking bulls and their bloodlines are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to these people who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars scientifically trying to really kind of breed the best athlete they possibly can when it comes to bucking stock. And I like being able to, and I don't know if it even matters, but I like being the guy that can bridge the gap between the city folk and the rural folk, and whether it's through a movie or through a song, and educate the people that need to be educated, congratulate the people that need to be congratulated, and make sure that, you know, things like bills out in California don't get passed that shut down, you know, rodeo and horse shows and any sort of agricultural, cultural importance to the people. I mean, America was founded on horseback, and people don't understand that rodeoing and cowboying, and whether you're cutting or showing horses, jumping horses, whatever it is, you know, there's something about a horse, at least, you know, and I know you understand this, but when you're communicating with your horse or you're riding your horse, it does something to you therapeutically. And it's a great lifestyle, and it's something that I think needs to be appreciated. And I got to tell you, I really want to make a documentary about cowboys and rodeo. And I'm talking about from when it began in the very beginning to where it's at now, all the way to the PBR, and really go through it, because it's a great story. The rodeo began on a couple of ranches back in the day when owners of these ranches wanted to compete their dude hands against each other, and things like bulldogging were invented, and you know, all the way through the greatest rodeos of today. And I would really like to put that together. So that's a dream of mine right now. And it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of people out there that are doing it. And we need to educate those that don't understand. We really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of folks out there, they just don't know what they don't know.
That is so damn true, isn't it?
Yep. You got?
Gotcha. Oh, I was going to point out, we've got a question from the chat room. How many bones have you broken, and how?
You know, I haven't broken a lot of bones, but I had knee surgery once from riding a bull when I was younger. But I got mashed up in the chute pretty good. But I've got all my fingers, and I haven't broken any bones. I got stepped on real bad. I kind of cracked my sternum in my chest, and I still feel that quite a bit. But I've been pretty lucky. And I'm pretty catty too. When I get bucked off, I land on my feet usually. But you know, I never really gotten a real bad wreck. Knock on wood. Dodged a few bullets, but I've been pretty lucky over the years.
Anything else in the chat over there?
Oh, well, I was going to apologize for how embarrassing that I wore the same shirt. Let me see. Let's see. No, I'm scanning through. I know there's several people just hoping to catch you at a show. I know you've got some screenings coming up. I saw that on the website at TommyHowellMusic.com. Everybody wants to go check out that album.
And you'll be here in Dallas. You'll be up here May 19th, Texas Theater.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the Outsiders to the Texas Theater, and we're gonna have a screening and a Q&A afterwards, and a little meet and greet. And we didn't really anticipate the success of this. We've got 2 sold-out shows in Tulsa. Dallas is almost sold out. We've got a sold-out show up here in Lexington, Kentucky, which is next weekend. And some of these shows we decided to play a little music at. So we've got about 20 dates scattered around the country. We're going to go to Florida, Alabama. We're hitting the East Coast. So if you're interested in coming to a screening, check out TommyHowellMusic.com. And we got all our dates there. And you can get your tickets and have a meet and greet. And we'll hug it out and take some pictures.
The foundation.
Oh, and what about this Stay Gold Foundation? Because
the Stay Gold Foundation is something that my incredible wife put together. It gives me the opportunity to go to schools and speak to the kids about the importance of literacy. You know, kids are they don't even know how to cursive write anymore. You know, everybody's typing on their phones. And, you know, I remember when my kids went to a paperless study program, and everybody was celebrating that, and they all got on to their iPads and started poking away on tablets. And, you know, there's some positive things that came out of that, but reading and writing is so important, at least in my life. You know, I'm a writer for a living. I like to write songs and tell stories, and, you know, reading is such a big part of acting. And I go to these schools and I speak to these kids, and one of the first things they say is, you know, I want to be famous. How can I be famous? And they don't stop to ask you, I would like to be an actor, or I would like to be a songwriter. What steps do I need to take to become the best version of myself? You know, they just want to be liked. And I think that comes from the culture that we're living in now. And the Stay Gold Foundation, it gives me the opportunity to be able to travel and go to these schools and meet these youngsters and hopefully share some words of encouragement, give them some inspiration. You know, I think in 7th, 8th grade, 13, 14 years old, in about 75% of the schools across America, the Outsiders is required reading. And I'd say about another 75% of those schools screen the movie for these kids. And every year I get a new batch of young kids that are fans. And, you know, we made that movie 40 years ago. So they reach out to me on my social and they're crying about Johnny Cage being dead. And then they really start crying when they realize Pony Boy is 57 years old. And it's for me, you know, I go to these events and the people there come to see me, but I go to see them. And that exchange, when I leave at the end of the day, makes me feel better, you know, to be able to share some stories with these youngsters. really hold their attention for a moment and try to inspire them to be the best version of themselves is special for me, because at that age, and I remember being 13, 14, I really cared a lot about what other people thought. And I really spent a lot of time wishing I was in the cool crowd, and didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid, and was worried about, whether or not I had the right clothes, and was probably influenced by a lot of other people. But I'll tell you one thing, S.E. Hinton, the author of that book, was only 17 years old when she wrote it. So could you imagine being a 17-year-old young lady in the late 60s writing a book about a gang of hoodlums from the wrong side of the track? I'm sure a lot of people tried to persuade her to not do that. I mean, what kind of business does she have writing about, a gang of kids? And if she would have listened to these other people, we wouldn't have had the outsiders. So I think that alone is a lesson for all of us. And thank God she had the sensibility and the discipline to not only come up with the idea, but to complete it. I mean, everybody has a good idea, but it's that self-discipline to actually finish something that I find to be quite impressive. So these are the type of things that I like to talk about with these kids, and hopefully inspire them to not worry too much about what other people think, follow their own hearts, set that bar high for themselves, and take those baby steps to reaching those goals every single day. And that's something that I think we really lack is any sort of mentorship outside of the occasional decent teacher that we come across as a student. But more importantly, a lot of these kids come from broken homes. They don't have, a real good foundation, and they certainly don't have a belief system that is installed for them to draw upon that they can trust. And for me to be able to provide that, even if it's just for an hour, I think holds some weight for these kids. And I know it's changed my life, and I certainly appreciate it.
That certainly is something special. That's really good.
Yep, and that's what we need. That's what we need right now. Yep. It's needed. It's needed more than ever, pretty much, with the way things are going in the school systems and everything else. That they all need that.
No joke, no joke. And it's hard right now. I think it's harder than ever to be a kid, 13, 14, 15 years old. You're exposed to a lot of stuff. When I was a kid, we didn't have all the answers. When we did a book report, we went to the library, and if it was on Lithuania, you went looking for the encyclopedia with an L on it. And if it wasn't there, you had to figure something else out.
Yeah.
You try to tell a kid that's 14 years old something, and he didn't even want to have that conversation because he pulls out that little device in his pocket that's got every single answer in the world in it, and the conversation's over.
Yeah.
So it's tough, I think, to be a kid. I mean, we're headed into this world of AI. Kids don't even go through what we went through. I remember when I was going to ask a young girl out to the dance or to the prom, I sweated bullets over it, and we practiced that in the mirror. Oh my God, if she says no, what are you going to do? Well, today, kids will do that through a text, and if the answer is no, they swipe it left as if it never even happened. So I think we're missing that character building experience because of AI and technology and phones. And that's what I love about being a part of the rural community, and seeing kids ride horses or participate in FFA or 4-H, whatever it is. And in general, those kids have a hard time because in school, that's not considered cool stuff. But if I can show up and hopefully be viewed as somebody that's cool to them and let them know that these are the things that I'm interested in, I get kids all the time that say to me, I really like your music. I didn't think I liked country music, but I liked that song. Well, I'm trying to introduce them to something that they haven't experienced before, and let them know that it's okay to do that. And I've had many people reach out to me and say things like, I junior rodeo, but I don't tell the kids at my school that I do that. But since you do that, now I'll wear my boots to school, or I'm not afraid to talk about that anymore. So that means a lot to me, and it's a big part of my life, and trying to help out a little bit and support that rural community in any way that I can. I think is important. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah. It goes both ways.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Tommy, man, I'm gonna let you get to it. Let you get back to it and work on that music.
When we get settled out there in Texas, we'll cross paths, and we'll have to go and break some bread and get together. And I sure do appreciate you letting me come on and share a few stories and share what it is that's important to me. And I really want to wish those up in North Texas and the Panhandle the best of luck. And that's sort of tragic what's going on there. And I think at the end of it, we will have lost a great deal of agricultural importance up there. I mean, the farmers and the cowboys are going through heck up there. So I really do want to wish them the best. And thank you both for letting me come on the show, Pepper.
Yeah. Thank you. We will wish you luck down the road, and we'll see you soon.
Stay gold, Tommy Howell.
You guys stay gold, too.
Oh, they're right there. Tommy Howell. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I feel like at this point, is it too late for me to speak up and say I've never actually seen that movie?
What?
The Outsiders? No. I feel like I have to, and that's like my homework assignment now. I have to go home right now.
Yes, that's your homework assignment, is to go watch it. You haven't seen it. You need to watch that, and you need to watch Obliterated.
Well, definitely that's been added to my list for sure.
You go watch that as well. Yeah, he's been a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of things, been a lot of places, a lot of shows, but just all around good guy, down to earth. Need more of those.
Yes.
Need more of those. Speaking of needing stuff, what you need is a radio that makes noise.
Ooh.
These radios right here are something that's new called Rapid Radio. And yes, they come pre-programmed. They're pre-programmed, ready to go. How many radios we put on there? You buy it, it's done. Your first year of service comes with the radio. But after that, it's $50 a year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a month, a year.
$50 a year for your service. And they work from far away. And let's see how far away they work from.
Let's see how it works. Hey, Garrett, this is Steve with Rapid Radio. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear, Steve.
Welcome to Rapid Radios. We have a staff of 15 people right here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Our radios are not only inexpensive, but they provide coverage anywhere, coast to coast. Whether you're looking for a radio for your small business or trying to keep communications with your kids or the elderly, Rapid Radios are a great solution for you. We have tens of thousands of happy customers all across the globe. Some of our customers include Fortune 500 companies, local police and fire, the Department of Homeland Security, Border Control, celebrities, and more. All of our products are backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So rest assured, if you're not happy, we'll refund you. Some people on social media might think this is too good to be true. Well, I went ahead and flew one of my team members, Garrett, out to Miami, Florida. I'm sitting here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's 1,461 miles away from me. Let's see how it works. Hey, Garrett, this is Steve with Rapid Radio. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear, Steve.
Awesome. How's the weather there in Miami? How's the temperature? Probably better than it is here in Michigan, I hope.
It's a beautiful
sunny and 75 down here in Miami.
Beautiful, sunny, and 75. All right, Garrett. Well, you take care, man. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, I'll see you when I'm back in Michigan.
The Rapid Radio is working just perfect. Crystal clear communication, state to state, over 1,000 miles. With Rapid Radios, you can communicate instantly hundreds or even thousands of miles away in a group setting or one-on-one. We provide the service, the nationwide coverage, and no monthly fees. Check out rapidradios.com for more information.
So just try them out. Give them a shot. Give them a shot. Rapid Radio. I've got a set that I'm still testing out and trying out. So get some and check it out. Last week we talked to Paulo Krember. After we talked to him, do you know the following event his son won, his first major event after that? And then the announcement, which we tried to get it out of him, but he wouldn't tell us. The 2 new PBR teams were announced, and so were their coaches. So you had the New York Mavericks, which that's going to be weird to have a bull riding team in New York City.
Well, there's everything there. There's everything.
If you go way back in the old days, the National Finals Rodeo used to be at the Madison Square Garden.
New York City. Sorry, I had to.
Yes.
I had to get that out of me.
Get a rope.
New York City. Okay.
Yeah, so the New York Mavericks, their inaugural homestand will be August 9th and 10th at the Barclays Center. Oh, it's the Barclays Center. I always thought it was the Barclays Center, like Charles Barkley. I always heard them say Barclays Center. I was like, the Charles Barkley Center? No, it's Barclays Center. And their team coach was announced, and it's none other than the 2009 PBR World Champion and Ring of Honor inductee, Cody Lostro. And along with him as an assistant coach is the 2002 PBR World Champion, Edna Caminas. So that's going to be good. What really broke the internet, the story that really broke the internet was Oklahoma when the Wildcatters was announced. That kind of broke the PBR network. The Oklahoma Wildcatters' newest team announced J.B. Moody as their head coach. And another fun fact for that is it's owned by the Midwest City's own Taylor Gooch. And you're like, what does that sound like a golf ball? And you're like, wait a minute, he's from the Live Golf Tour. He's a Live Golf champion. So he's excited to bring the bull riding back up there to Oklahoma with JB, which is a 2-time world champion with tons of record-breaking rides to lead that team. So we are waiting to find out how that goes.
All right. Best of luck to both those teams.
Yes. Speaking of PBR, again, UFC. You know anything about UFC? People that like to fight each other?
Yeah, but don't quiz me on it now. I feel like I used to know a lot more than I know now.
Well, there's a guy, there's a UFC fighter guy named Donald Cerrone, but he goes by Cowboy Cerrone, and he's a UFC fighter. I think he's 41 now, and he's got a ranch, and he does some ranch stuff, and back in his youth, about 18 or 19 or so, he was a bull rider. Well, then Dana White, I think we talked about this a while back, Dana White decided to get into the PBR bulls, and he's got a bull called Twisted Steel.
I do remember, yeah.
So at one of the events, he just mouthed off and was like, hey, I'm going to ride that bull. So they got this there's a bet going.
Okay.
And in this bet, you can get involved in this bet, and you can even make money.
Ooh, we get to pick a side? Is that what we're doing?
Yes. Okay. And let's see how that happens.
So when I was 18, I rode bulls. Now I'm 41, and I'm trying it again. But not any bull. I'm riding Dana White's Twisted Steel at the World Finals with the PBR. Whew. Why would anybody want to do something stupid like this? Let me tell you. We are raising money for kids camp that I put on every year here at the BMF Ranch. Not any camp. It's underprivileged, amazing kids camp. We put on every year at the ranch. If you want to be a part of it with me, and I've had a lot of people ask, So last year we partnered with the UFC and they sent a bunch of gear. This year, Dana's donating $50,000 if I don't ride, $100,000 if I do ride. Now you guys probably think that's a lot of money, but I'm building dorm rooms and kitchen facilities. Just the dorm housing that I have planned to build is $500,000. Think about what it costs 100 mouths to feed 3 meals a day. Great companies behind us, partnered with a company called betonline.ag. They are partnering with me and giving all kinds of crazy odds. Will I ride for 8 seconds? Will I get bucked up in 23 seconds? Will the bull come out, spin to the right, spin to the left? Any crazy combination you guys think of, the odds will be there. Great thing is, whether you win, you get paid, BNF Foundation gets paid. You lose, BNF Foundation gets paid. All the money you guys are gambling, win or lose, is for the foundation to create these kids a better life, a better way of thinking. Try and teach them the ways that are being lost. Thank you, Dana White. Thank you, UFC. Thank you, betonline.ag. PBR, everyone involved in this, thank you very much.
Yeah, so get on that, get to that link. If you didn't catch the link, go to Pepper Stewart, look around on there, on the Facebook, maybe on the Instagram, I'm not sure, but at least on Facebook you can find everything there. And it's posted there, the links are there, you can get in there and get your bets in and see if you can cash in.
One of my favorite things, shenanigans. I just love a good shenanigan.
Bowling at shenanigans?
So you've seen when road signs get hacked sometimes, people put messages on there.
I have seen that a time or two.
Okay, well, it's happened in Washington recently. There was a fun message to warn drivers about the angry raccoons ahead.
What?
Here we have video of this. I don't know if we have... But yeah, there was a sign as drivers passed. They saw the message warning for angry raccoons ahead. They did put out a message that they were fortunate it wasn't R-rated, but that's what's fun. I like that whoever hacked into it went through all that trouble to just put something silly on there.
All right, okay.
A traffic sign near Audubon Park in Spokane has gotten some attention. Apparently, it got hacked, and it was supposed to be saying something about traffic, but it said angry raccoons ahead. So the sign is getting a lot of laughs from drivers. The city, though, they weren't amused. Crews made their way out and they were able to correct it in just a few hours, but we learned it was because someone forgot to lock up the box when they left. Oh. So it wasn't very hard to get in there and change the message.
I was going to say, how certain are we that there weren't angry raccoons?
You know, you never know. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yes, it's possible. Angry raccoons. There are angry raccoons because I did see a movie one time. There was a raccoon that was talking and doing stuff, so it's possible there could have been angry raccoons.
Could be angry.
I don't know what movie it is because I don't watch cartoons and make-believe shows, but I have seen it advertised. There's a raccoon and some other people, and I don't know what it's called.
Maybe they're in space.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
They might be in space.
You really don't know what it is?
I have no idea.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy? ?
Okay, probably. I've probably seen a commercial for that.
I think that's what you're thinking
I'll take Guardians of the Galaxy for 100.
Okay.
Ding.
Okay.
You got it. So that's where I seen the raccoon. So it's possible they could be angry. They could be angry. We'd mentioned the American earlier. There's going to be someone playing at the American, but to burst your bubble, it will not be Usher.
Oh.
Oh, it's an honor to get to play the American. I feel like Usher getting to play the halftime show at the Super Bowl. You know, I'm getting to play the halftime show at the American, so it's a big deal for me. Howdy, y'all. I'm Aaron Watson. Come see me at the American Rodeo, March 9th at Globe Life Field.